Shalom and good morning, everyone. Um, this was long overdue, but I had to do some research and check some things out, my brothers and sisters, dealing with the ninth month. I know some of y'all been waiting for this report, and I do apologize, but this is the purpose of Yahuwah's channel to teach you how to do his calendar yourself so you don't become dependent on no one. This is the best plan because you know the enemies of Yah is looking for many ways to stop his commandments and his instructions to go forth to Adam and to the Israelites. In our native tongue, we would say Yahusha, for we bear our father name and our mother name Sarah and his title, which is El. So, um, on the channel, it gives you the foundation on how to do the Most High calendar. Remember, his calendar is made of three lights, which are the sun, the moon, and Mazzaroth. And he has given his prophets to give us instructions about how to keep his calendar or how to put his calendar on paper. Okay. Also, I like to give all honors and praises to Yahuwah, who is our Father. I give homage to his son, Yahusha HaMashiach, who is the Messiah and the second Adam. And I give my respect unto the Ruach, who is known as the Spirit of Wisdom, the seven eyes and seven spirits of Yah, the glory of Yah, and the beauty of holiness. Shalom and good morning. Now, I'm going to be real quick this morning because we do have a class coming up this morning. For those who would like to attend the class, please call me at 919-972-8970. 919-972-8970. Please do this before 11 o'clock, okay? Please do this before 11 o'clock so you can attend our Father's calendar class and mystery. Also, the purpose of this gathering is to unite his family, okay? For we are under one God, which is Yah. We are under one Son, which is Yahushua Mashiach, and we're under one Spirit. So this what unite us as a family, making us brothers and sisters unto one another. And this is for all who are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth who have received salvation. Okay? Let's see what else I need to say before we proceed. So first, let us open up in prayer this morning. I, Abba, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, thine is the power, thine is the glory, forever. So be it. That even his prayer has a lot of heavenly messages for us to study. Okay. So what you see before you is a picture because we're in the ninth month known as Kezu. I hope I say that correctly. If I did not, forgive me. But in this month, we have a feast coming up that's kept in the same manner of the Feast of Tabernacles. And what I mean by that is kept for 8 days. And you will learn that this feast has many names, such as known as the Feast of Lights, the Feast of Dedication. Also in the Hebrew tongue, they would say Hanukkah. Okay. There is in the video description box, there is a playlist on Yah's holy days and holy feast days. Watch those playlists to get the heavenly message to understand what is the Feast of Lights. Even Josephus give us the true meaning of the Feast of Lights because the yet had of today, known as the Jewish or who are the converts, has given you a false message, for it's a Jewish fable. But when you read the work of Josephus, you begin to understand the true meaning of the Feast of Lights, but it has nothing to do with lighting the menorah. So this is why I found this picture for you, because when you see light, light should remind you of what liberty, freedom, which is jubilee. For yeah, our Father in heaven going to set us free from this world of darkness so we can worship him without being vexed and oppressed by his enemies, who are our enemies too. So take this time just to look at this picture, because this is what the Feast of Lights should remind you. That is part of the message, okay? But the other part of the message, are you dedicated? Just as Moses, as he built the tent tabernacle, notice what take place in Torah to make the tent tabernacles and those things within the tent tabernacle to be safe, to be sanctified, to be holy, which is set apart unto Yah. Also knows what take place when King Solomon, when he built his temple as a physical building that was of wood and stones and many other material. Notice what take place, because it's saying that was in the days of Moses, was in the days of Solomon. Then it went on to the days of the high priest Ezra and Nehemiah and them, when they had to rebuild the temple after the Babylonian captivity. And then we see it again in the days of the Maccabees, because the Gentiles came and defiled it, so it had to go up, be cleansed and be rededicated back to our Father in heaven, which is another picture I would like to share with you. Because I want you to see this picture. Because many are not understanding what our Father is doing in this day and time, y'all. What this whole book is about that we read, that is called the Bible. The whole purpose of his covenant is to what? Set you free and to restore you back to your proper place, Adam. And when you understand who you are, Adam, for you are the Son of God. When you understand that, do you understand this picture? He's breaking you out of jail. He's breaking you out of prison. He's setting you free from Satan and those principalities who want to keep you in darkness and out of the light. Take this time to reflect on this picture. This is what the Feast of Lights, known as the Feast of Dedication, known as Hanukkah, should remind you of as you keep it for 8 days. Okay? Now, let us go on. Now, Father is reminding me to give you his date, okay? Because we got to give you his date so you'll know where you are at. Because, you know, with the Gentile date, that comes from Satan. That comes from his calendar that Daniel has prophesied. So on the Gentile day, or the heathen's day, which is Satan's day, we are on Santa Night's day, which is Saturday. And their day is the 11th month on the 28th day in the year of 2020 AD. We are in the daylight phase of the day. Okay. Let's bring us to this. Let me take you to, because I got to give you Adam's year. Okay. Let me take you to Adam's year, so you can get that date. Now, to understand Adam's date, you got to understand Yahuwah's timeline. For his sacred books give you the date that the heathens and Satan and those principalities do not want you to know of, because when you know of the season of the Exodus, when you know of the seasons of the two witnesses, when you know of the season of the Messiah coming, they do not want you to prepare yourself. They want you to miss your inheritance. They want you not to be restored as Adam. See, you know, misery love company. They want you to join them in Sheol, which will be placed in the second death, which is the eternal lake of fire. That is what they want you to receive. So the date from Adam, let us scroll down, because I got to give you the date. Okay. So you know, what is Yah's year? You need to know that. What is Yah's year? Far as the date of Adam, we are in the 8th day from Adam, y'all. It starts in the 7,001st year to the 8,000 year. We are in day 13 from creation. And that year starts in the 13,000 year to 13,999. And we are in the season of the first judgment, for Zion has fulfilled her affliction, which is 400 years of being under the reign of the Europeans in Mr. Babylon, who is the whore that sits upon the beast known as America. Zion has completed her affliction. And now our Father in heaven is visiting the earth. And we know what that means when he visits the earth. He's judging now. And we can see the signs in the heaven and in the earth. Okay? So we're in day 13 from creation. For as the generation date, yes, there's a generation date, because when you read the prophets' writings, such as the first and second, third book of Enoch, you will learn there's a generation date given unto those wicked principalities, because their judgment will come, where their fullness of their judgment will come in the 70th generation. So we fall in the 56th generation, y'all. Far as Enoch's date, we are in the 8th week of his prophecy. As far as the date dealing with 2nd Ezra chapter 7, verse 30 through 35, we in the 6th day of the 7 days. This is the date that the Father needs for you to understand. Okay? You need to know that. You know where you at, because we don't have time. All right? Now we should go on to the calendar. Now, when you open up the calendar, you're going to see some links, y'all, because I want to make this easy for y'all when y'all go to the calendar. Okay? We have the links to the sighting of the moon photos, which we will go to. Okay? We have the links to the end of year summary report, and this is one of the things we should talk about, because you need to look at the quarters of the year. So it's just the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter, and the fourth quarter of the Most High year. Why is it so important? Because Enoch talks about it too. He hints on it. Because there's a prophecy that is being fulfilled, such as in the book of Jubilees and the book of Enoch, that there'll be those who would keep a record of time, which remind me, I need to show y'all a Bible verse, because it's very important that you understand about Yah's time and why we must keep a record of it. Okay? Then we have a link for the Most High prophetic message, because he gives us a prophecy that relates to the calendar and relates to what he has given to Enoch. He is speaking, y'all. That's why we're telling y'all to print out those prophetic messages. Then you have the link for this calendar where you can share it or make it easy to review. Then we have a link for the lunar epoch. Remember, this comes from our Father himself from heaven. This don't come from the Gentiles. The Gentiles stole it or took that information from the Most High prophets. It's the reason why we keep up with the lunar epoch. This is what the Gentiles use to place their so-called holidays near the Most High holy days. Even the 1611 is a witness of that. Read the I'll call it the preference, and look at the almanac, and you will see how they have set up their information is resembling what the Father gave unto Enoch. Okay, but this is how they able to know when to set their holidays near Yah's holy days. Okay, and then the last link is to give you the report of the lunar epoch, giving you all the years from 2018 up to now. Okay, but I first need to take you to that verse first before we proceed. I'm going to the Apocrypha. It's in the book called Ecclesiasticus, known as Ben of Sirach, also known as the son of Sirach. We're going to chapter 18, verse 27, and this is what it says. A wise man with fear in everything, and in the day of sinning, he would be aware of offense. But a fool would not observe time. Fathers reminded me of what the Messiah said unto the Pharisees. Do you not observe the heavens? Do you not watch the heavens for how the weather would be? It's in the gospel, y'all. I'm not quoting direct word for word. I'm paraphrasing it. So if you cannot observe the signs of these times, then you're not going to be aware of what is coming. Just like they was not aware of who he was. Okay? Because they won't paying attention. They weren't observing the signs of the time. The Father has given us the heavens. The heavens is his billboard. This is how he talked to us. Go back to Genesis 1:14. For he said, these lights shall be for what? For signs, for seasons, for days, and for years. This comes from the 1611 King James Version, y'all. But notice this. I got to say this again. But a fool would not observe time, but a wise man will. They would be prepared. They will, by observing, it would come to their attention, reminding them of their transgressions, of their sins. So they will what? Repent and make it right with our Father. Okay. Now let's go back to the calendar. Before we begin that, let me show y'all the sightings of the moon. Let's go ahead and knock this out the way so y'all have it. So for the night month, when we go to Renew Moon, this is a website that report all biblical sightings throughout the whole world. Okay. We noticed that in Hawaii, as they projected, they would be the first to see the new moon. Okay. Then the next day, which was let's see what month we in. We're in November. November the 16th, which is the next day. This is when everyone, including Israel, will see the new moon. And we'll talk a little bit about Hawaii, because that part is fulfilling biblical prophecies. Okay. So I had to do a lot of further research, because what I thought was strange about Renew Moon, they only list Hawaii sightings and they didn't list any other sightings. And then I don't know if anybody reported their sightings to them. I mean, I don't have the details. So I felt in my heart I need to do a little more research about Hawaii sighting that new moon. Okay. So I did find a website, and it turns out they did see it on the 15th of November in the year of 2020, and it was sighted by 3 people at 6:18 p.m. Okay. Then I have photos of our new moon sightings, such as myself. Also, we have Brother Kiefer new moon sightings. Okay. I believe he's in the state of Arizona. Okay. For me, I'm on the East Coast, y'all. Then we have Truth Table Ministry sighting of the new moon. And this all occurred on November the 16th on the heathen state. Then we have Israel reports of their new moon sightings. Okay, as you see here. And then Brother Hasur didn't see the moon until November the 17th. That's when he sighted it. Okay. It's very important that we look at all these reports, because biblical prophecy is being fulfilled right before our eyes. And you probably say, what do you mean? But for those who will you will learn this. In the days of sinners, the moon shall not appear at her appointed time. Also in YAHUAH prophetic messages, he tells us that these lights will be what? Groaning or manifesting themselves unto us, letting us know that Israel is not in their proper place. Do you hear me, Israelites? You are not in your proper place. You have been scattered throughout the 4 corners of the earth. You have not been put back into your land. Okay, because of the curses that set in Deuteronomy 28, and because of the testimony of the song of Moses that is against you. I think it's in chapter 31 to 32 of the book of Deuteronomy. All right. Now that we have that out the way, now let us get back to the calendar. Okay, we're going to go on straight down to the 9th month. In your spare time, just read those things that I have listed above the calendar. Okay. Now we are in season 3 of 4, and this is the 3rd quarter of the Most High calendar. Okay. And the last feast that we had, far as the Feast of a Harvest, okay, dealing with the Feast of Gathering, was the Feast of Tabernacles, and that was in the 7th month. And we are counting towards Shemitah and Jubilee. So this is the year 5 towards the count. Okay. Also, you see other information listed in the calendars to give you biblical verses to help you understand that the new moon day, the Sabbath days, and his holy days and feast days are determined by the heavens. Okay. Remember, the Gregorian calendar cannot give that to you. And when you study the history of the 1582 era and the 1752 era, you will learn that they made a great mistake, a great mathematical mistake, a great mistake in their weekly format, because now all the days are mixed up. In other words, what I'm saying to you, Saturday is no longer Saturday anymore. Wednesday is no longer Wednesday anymore. Yes. So when the Father had me go back to study the history of their calendars, such as the Roman calendar, the Judean calendar, what Constantine did, and what Gregory the Pope did, especially in the 1582 and the 1752 era. One is in Italy, and the 1752 era is in America. That's when the Father showed me you cannot use that calendar for anything. Okay? So you can read those information there, have scriptures and everything you need to know. Also, we have a scripture that what we learned about the 8th month and what 8 means. You can read that in your spare time, because the number 8 has a great meaning unto us, y'all. The 8th month represent the former rains, which are the first rain. It also means judgment, and it also means new beginning. So you can read that in your spare time. Now, looking at the 9th month, the Most High calendar, we are in the year of the Gentiles, starting from 2020 AD to 2021 AD. Remember, the Father's calendar will overlap into the heathens' days and years, because they do not follow the circuits of the heaven. In other words, they don't follow the moon, they don't follow the sun, they don't follow Mazzaroth. Okay? They're not following anything. Now, those who are the 12-month followers, these are the people who do not believe in the 13th month. And I've been keeping record, so don't lie about it, y'all. For those who have not been keeping the 13th month, because they're not doing that, their month's going to be now out of season. So now they're in the 10th month. And it's simple math. The moon year is shorter than the sun year. So therefore, as every year go by, the moon will start earlier and earlier, and eventually will end up starting in winter. And if they don't correct that, in other words, the heavens make the correction, but they don't follow the heavens. So if by them not following the heavens, what's going to happen is that not only it's going to start in the winter, but it's going to lead into the fall, then it's going to lead into the summer, etc., because they're not following the heavens as the Father instructs us to. Now we're looking at the 9th month, known as Kazlu, Kazvi, and it means his confidence. And I think I will come back later on a word on that. But right now, I'm just going to give you the highlights of this 9th month, so you will have his holy days. So the 9th month for this year in the pagans year, it starts in November to December in the year of 2020 AD. Okay. And I didn't put the total of the sun's 9th month, but we'll talk about that. Okay. But let us keep going down. So his Sabbath for the 9th month will start from Sunday at sundown to Monday at sundown. Remember, we follow the heavens. Okay. And for those who want to give this method the name, please don't use lunar, because if you're going to say that, then you need to call your Passover lunar Passover. Then you need to say lunar Shavuot, which is Pentecost. Then you need to say lunar Feast of Tabernacles. Please don't do that. The Father corrected me. He said, my calendar is made of 3 lights, and you cannot separate them. For each need each other to complete my calendar. That's what Yah says. Okay. Here you also have some scriptures that pertains to the 9th month, and there's a video listed to give you further understanding of the heavenly message and mystery of the Feast of Dedication, known as the Feast of Lights, also known as Hanukkah. Now, as we was talking about before in this video, we noticed that Hawaii saw the new moon before everybody else. Kind of strange, right? But as we proceed further in this moon report, you will find out if we went by that, it would have thrown off one of the phases of the moon. So this is why I feel, y'all, why I could not start on that day as my new moon day, because I knew the moon was doing something unusual. Okay. Remember, she's manifesting herself unto you, Israelites, letting you know who you are, and at the same time letting your head know. Okay. Again, he gave us signs in heaven. So on the first day of the new moon, uh, that we're going by, for as far as with the east and the west, they saw it on November the 16th at sundown. Okay. And it falls on the sun's 8th day and it falls on the sun's 8th month and 25th day. Now we also have a biblical event to keep up, because in the 9th month, Noah is 601 years old. And this is the day when he built an altar and made an atonement. Again, remember, it's very important that we study the events of the flood, because it's going to give us understanding about the second judgment that is coming to the whole world, which is fire. He's going to destroy the world with fire. So it's very important that we take the time and study the biblical events of the flood, because it's going to give you understanding what's going to happen in our generation. Okay? History repeats itself, but this time, instead of water, he's going to destroy all with fire. Those who are not his. Okay? Now you can read about that in Jubilees chapter 6, Genesis chapter 6, chapter 7, and chapter 8. Okay? So we got the first day of the new moon. Now, Brother Yahusha didn't see the moon until day 2 of the moon. That's when he saw it. He saw it November the 17th at sundown. Reason why I keep up with all their reports, because we're going to see what is going to line up, what is correct, by looking at everything. It's going to help us what? To weed out what is incorrect and what is correct by looking at everything. Okay? Now, in the first week of the moon, we have the sun enter into the ninth sign of Mazzaroth, and it occurs on November the 21st at 10:40 p.m. in Israel Standard Time. Also, on the 6th day of the moon, we have the moon becoming a half moon, about 50% illumination, and that occur on November the 22nd at 6:45 a.m. in Israel Standard Time. And this is the day when the sun has a total of 30 days in its 8th month. So I do need to make a correction. I ain't going to do it now in this video. Yes, I will. Let me just do it right now. Editing. I'm going to put 30 days for the 8th month. That's how many days the sun had. Let me put it back to viewing now. Let's scroll down. So as we see on day 6, when the sun enters to the ninth sign of Mazzaroth, it makes it a total of 30 days for its 8th month. But when you read Enoch's writings, you will learn that what happens on this day is that we will have night to increase and daylight to become less. Okay? So when you look at the length of night and the length of daylight and compare, night will be greater than light. Now, when you look at Enoch's writings and you compare to the actual time of this, it may be off a little bit, because the earth is no longer aligned with the heavens. That's another sign unto you, Israelites. Our Father spoke on this in his prophetic messages. If you have not heard them and print out those messages, please do so. Okay? So this happened on the 6th day of the moon. Remember, our Father's day begins from sundown to sundown. He is the Father of light. So he start his day in light and he end his day in light. On the heathen's calendar, they start their day from midnight to midnight, but they are the children of darkness. Okay? And please do not get confused, like your Sabbath worship service or your feast service with the morning time. These are the times of service. Genesis make it clear when a day begins and ends. Go back to the foundation. Okay, so then on the 8th day of the moon, we have, I'm sorry, I need to back this up. So the sun begins its 9th month on the 7th day of the moon. That is the first day of the sun. Very important for you to know. That is the first day of the sun. So I'm showing you how you count the days of the sun. Okay, so the first day of the sun don't start until after the sun enter into the ninth sign of Mazzaroth. Okay. And we'll get the name of what the Gentiles call it. Okay. Then on day 8 of the moon, the sun is in its ninth month and second day, and it falls on November the 23rd to the 24th on the Heathen's Day. And this is our first Sabbath. Remember, each month of the Most High calendar has 4 Sabbaths. Then on the second week of the moon, on the 14th day, we have a full moon day, okay? And it falls on the Heathen's Day, November the 30th at 4:29 a.m. Israel Standard Time, which falls on the sun's ninth month and 8th day. And the Heathen's Day well, the Most High date starts from, or his day starts from November the 29th at sundown to November the 30th at sundown. Okay, remember this phase of the moon happens before sundown. So this is why it falls from the 29th to the 30th. Then on day 15 of the moon, which is the second Sabbath, it is the sun's ninth month and ninth day. And on the Heathen's Day, it falls on November the 30th at sundown to November the 1st at sundown. Now we get into the third week of the moon. Now I had a picture here, but I don't know what happened. So what happens is when you look at a Hawaii sighting, it will cause the no, I think I'm starting a little bit here. Let me make sure. Yes, I am. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I do apologize, y'all. Sorry about that. So now we're in the third week of the moon. And this is when the moon is decreasing in light. So on the 22nd day of the moon, which is the third Sabbath, the moon is decreasing to 50% of light. So she's waning now. And it occurs on December the 8th at 2:36 a.m. Israel Standard Time. Now this falls on the sun's ninth month and 16th day, which falls on starting at sundown from December the 7th to December the 8th. Okay. That's the third week of the moon. Now, this is the part I was talking about with Hawaii sighting. If I had went with Hawaii sighting, it would cause the third week moon phase to fall on the fourth week moon phase. And y'all, those who've been keeping record and observing the heavens, we know that it's not something normal that the moon does. In other words, it's not it's unusual. Okay, so if I had went by Hawaii sighting, it would cause the moon that is waning in light to 50% to fall on the 23rd day. Okay, and we know that's not correct. All right, so now that we're on the fourth week of the moon, we see here on day 25 is the first day of the Feast of Lights, known as dedication, also known as Hanukkah. Now, this is a holy convocation day, meaning that it's a day of rest. This is a day we assemble ourselves to go before Yahuwah to worship him on this day. Okay, and it falls on the sun's ninth month and 19th day, which falls on the Heathen's Day on December the 10th at sundown to December the 11th at sundown. So this is day 1. Day 2 will be on day 26 of the moon. Day 3 of this feast will be on day 27 of the moon. Day 4 of this feast will be on day 28 of the moon. And you see, this is when the moon is really decreasing light, y'all. She's like a crescent again. Okay, and the time you can see this phase is in the latter part of the night to morning, up to the latest is up to noon. This is the time you can see this phase. Okay, and this phase falls on the sun's ninth month and 22nd day, which falls on the Heathen's Day, December the 13th at sundown to December the 14th at sundown. Now we get into day 29 of the moon. This is the 5th day of the feast of lights. Okay, and this is the day when the moon has no light upon her, and as the prophet Enoch had prophesied unto us, that this is the end of the month when she has no light upon her. Okay, it falls on the Heathen's Day, December the 14th at 6:16 p.m. Okay, Israel Standard Time. Notice this phase happened after sundown. Therefore, it falls on the Heathen's Day, December the 14th at sundown to December the 15th at sundown. And this falls on the sun's ninth month and 23rd day. Now, far as the next day, which is the last day, we have to wait to see the next sight in heaven to determine if this month we have 29 days or 30 days. Okay, that's what we're waiting on. Now, here's the more information about when the sun enters into the ninth sign of Mazzaroth. You have to go over here. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. That's another thing I'm going to work on for the next upcoming year. It's trying to have things line up so it can flow. Okay. So when the sun enters into the ninth sign of Mazzaroth, this sign is called Sagittarius and is located about 240 degrees in the heavens. Remember, that's a circuit in the heavens. Okay. And I'll give you the date again. In Israel time, it fell on November the 21st at 10:40 p.m. This is the day and time when the sun entered into that sign, y'all. And what happens, according to what the prophet Enoch says, that when the sun enters the ninth sign of Mazzaroth, you have about 10 hours and 40 minutes of daylight, known as the seven parts, which make the night to have 13 hours and 20 minutes, which is 10 parts. Okay. So when you observe that day, you may notice a slight difference in time, and that is because the earth is no longer aligned with the heavens. She has shifted again. Another sign unto you, Israelites, letting you know who you are. Okay. I know this was a lot. That's why I come before you live so you can go back and listen to the recording. Now let's get to the moon report. Okay. Because that's been long overdue. I've been meaning to do that, but didn't get to it. Okay, where we at? We're going to the end of your summary report. Let's see where it open. Okay. I'm going to check my screen to make sure you all seeing what I'm seeing. Shalom to my brothers and sisters, and Tawada. Okay. Okay, I got to change my screen anyway. Let me start screen. And I'm going to show y'all the end of some report. This is very important because you have to look at two things. You will have to look at calendar whole days versus actual time. That's very important. When I begin to keep a record of that, I noticed what Jubilees was saying unto us. Okay. So I'm glad that the Father put this in my heart to make this table so that way I can take all the information that we talked about in his calendar and condense it. So kind of like it's get us straight to the point. One of the things I do want to point out to you with the Gentiles, because they start their year in the wrong month. Okay. In other words, because they start their year in winter and not in spring, their days would be ahead of Yah's days. For example, when we look at the first quarter, because they start their year in January, okay, I had to include January all the way down to May for the first quarter of the Most High, so you can compare how incorrect they are. And this is proof unto you that they do not follow the circuits of the heaven. They don't follow the sun circuit, y'all, because if they did, they would know that in the sun year, there's only 92 days in the first quarter, not 152 days. Do you see how it's so important to keep a record of these things? Okay. Now, when I talk about quarter, what I'm talking about is the first, second, and third month, looking at the moon and at the sun. Let me look at these things. Over here in the notes, I'll list the dates of when we saw the new moon sightings, whether it was Brother Hashur, whether it was the east, whether it was the west. And I say east, I'm talking about Israel. West, I'm talking about, we over here in the west and the rest of part of the world. I put those important notes. Also, when we have a sign in the heaven, like something that really stands out, in the first quarter, we have Rome to see a blood moon. And what was so rare about this sign, y'all, it occurred when the moon was decreasing in light and she was 50%. Now, those who've been studying heaven know that is not possible. So we know that was a sign from Yah himself given unto Rome to let them know judgment is coming. If you don't repent, you're going to pay with your blood, okay, of your wickedness. All right. So this is what this year's summary report does. It look at the numbers, because when we look at the numbers, especially with calendar whole days, like we see here, versus actual timing, we can see what the prophets was talking about, such as Moses, who wrote Jubilees, such as Enoch, who wrote the first and second, third book of Enoch. So we can see these things better. Okay, so this is the first quarter number. I'm not gonna go over that. You just pause the screen. You know what? We're gonna blow this up. Put this in view mode. I'm gonna blow this up. I know the screen is kind of small, so y'all can look at these numbers for the first quarter. Okay, take this time down to pause your screen because I want to get to like the second and third quarter. We also in this year report some and keep up whether how many blood moons, how many solar eclipse, how many super moons, how many micro moons, and how many partial lunar eclipse. Again, remember the moon has effect on the water on the earth. So we begin to look at all these things. Okay. Father's remind me to share with you, remember Nat Turner prophetic writings or his testimonies. Remember what he prophesied in his testimonies, also written in the Dead Sea Scrolls that they found in 1940s. And he too was given certain signs in the heavens as well. Again, go back to Genesis 1:14. Okay, now here's the second quarter. The second quarter consists of the fourth, fifth, and sixth month. Okay, so when we look at the mid-year, because I know Enoch will touch on about the mid-year in his book. I can't remember if it's the first or second, first or second, but I do remember he does touch on the mid-year. So when we look at the moon for the mid-year that we have for this year, we have a total of 177 days. Now this is done with calendar whole days. But when we look at the breakdown, the actual timing, that means the actual timing when this moon goes through its phases. Now I'm using the Gentile numbers, but the reason why I'm not able to do it from new moon to new moon because it's from the earth point of view, we cannot see exactly when the moon becomes that silver crescent. You understand what I'm saying? So this is why I have to use the Gentile to get us an estimation. Okay. So the actual timing of this is 177 days, 4 hours, and 5 minutes. Okay. So when we add up the days, what Israel has, remember now, what you see here is adding up their days. It's not giving you when they start their year, when they start their months, but just giving you the total number of days. So Israel has 177, Brother Yahusha has 177. Now for the sun, the Gentiles have 244 days. But in the Father's calendar, we have 185 days for the sun for the mid-quarter. That's going from the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth month, y'all. Okay. In actual time is 185, 18 hours and 17 minutes. So 185 days, 18 hours and 17 minutes. And Father is reminding me to let you know, this is what I have so far. I will go back and check my numbers to make sure I calculate everything correctly. Okay. And over here, you see the notes on the moon sightings for the fourth, fifth, and sixth month. I give the dates for the east, which is Israel, for Brother Yahusha, and for the west, which is us in America and other parts of the world. Okay, that's mid-quarter. Now we're going to the third quarter. Now, as you see, it's not complete yet because we're still waiting for the 9th month to come in its completion. But take this time now to pause your screen to look at those numbers. But again, what you're seeing with the Gentiles, they are way ahead. They are out of order, and they do not follow the sun circuit. So when we look at the 8th month, they have a total of 305 days, y'all. Okay? Something to really look at. Now, as you go down further in this end of year sum report, let me take this time now to pause the screen so you can pause your screen and take a look at this. Again, I give the dates of the new moon sightings for all 3 parties, okay? And also I include Hawaii's date, okay? Take this time now to look at that. As well as we have, 2 super moons, 2 micro moons in the third quarter so far. All right. Now, as we go further down, this just giving us confirmation. It's just giving you information that the heavens do produce the 13th moon. All you gotta do is keep a record of it, and you'll see it. Okay. I do need to put down what cycle we are in for the year of 2020. 20 to 2021. So that would come out later, y'all. But when we look at for the year of 2019 to 2020, we're in the 4th year and it's at the 0-fold. That means there was no extra moon produced. Okay, so it's starting all over again. When we look at that cycle of 358 that was given unto Enoch, that cycle of 358 will give you the formula to help you know what year when the heavens will produce a 13th moon known as Adar the second. Okay, you have access here to Yahuwah prophetic message. To Yahuwah's calendar, y'all. That's a playlist for that. There's also a playlist dealing with the 10 missing days in the Gregorian calendar, which is known as the 4 feast calendar. So you have that as well. Okay, now we're looking at how the sister you to get the numbers dealing with Beta Israel and Brother Hashur. Well, they have their own. Well, Brother Hashur have his own website, y'all. Now, Beta Israel, I was able to get that formula from Wikipedia, and as you see, what I'm talking about right here, it's on the calendar and holidays, under religion, under Wikipedia for Beta Israel. That's how I was able to get that. There's a link for that. And this is how I was able to get the estimated dates from Adam. And as you see, myself, Brother Hashur, and Beta Israel, we all agree we are in this from the 7,000 first year to the 8,000 year from Adam. So we all agree with that. The only ones that's out of order are the Jewish, known as the Yahad, who are converts, and that is because they don't believe in the Messiah. Okay, so you have the years, okay, as well as anything that's really significant, such as the blood moons. Remember, we have 4 blood moons starting from the year of 2014 and into the year of 2016. And these 4 blood moons happen on the Most High holy feast days, such as on Passover and on the Feast of Tabernacles. Now, that is a sign unto us Israelites. Okay. Here's just some photos so you can see where I'm getting the evidence. So you can see everything's aligning up based on what that formula has. Okay. So what that formula has with Beta Israel, let me know that I did the calculations correctly. Okay, so now we're in the year of 2020 to 2021. Beta Israel is in the year of 7092 from Adam, but I sure has 7520 from Adam. Myself, I have 7488 from Adam, and the Jewish, who are the converts, they have 5781 from Adam. All right, I need to get off so I can prepare for class, y'all. But I hope you enjoy this report, okay? And I hope it helps you to make the connections on what Enoch and Moses, as many others like Josephus, many others that have pieces of the puzzle to Yah's calendar and his timeline. I hope you see the connection with that. I really do. But I want to go back to a picture, 2 pictures actually, y'all. Bear with me. I want you to meditate on this. It is time for you to understand Yah's calendar. It is time for you to know his timeline, his dates, so you can align up with the Gentile dates, so you can prepare yourself for the Exodus. For soon the Messiah shall send the command of the Enoch wings. For through light shall come what? Freedom. For Yahusha HaMashiach is the eye, is the light of the body. Don't get it confused with Satan doctrines. It has nothing to do with a pineal gland. All things come by the Spirit. Therefore, the Spirit shall teach you all things. Meditate on this picture here, as well on the next picture that I will share with y'all. Because you need to understand you are in prison. You are a servant of darkness. And the only way to be set free from it, y'all, is by receiving that holy divine seed that we talked about in the 8th month. because the seed, what is the word? The seed is Yahusha HaMashiach. And he is what? The fountain of many waters. When you study his Hebrew name and you look at the letters, you will learn that one of the letters means fountain. And he's telling you, I'm the fountain of many waters, meaning that through him, can we receive the Ruach. And through the Ruach, we shall what? Get knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that comes from our Father in heaven above. Not the world knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, but our Father wisdom, knowledge, understanding. Therefore, you shall be transformed from the unleavened bread from Peshat to the leavened bread in Pentecost, known as Shavuot, because you shall be filled with the fullness of Yah. You shall be filled with the fullness of God. Therefore, you shall carry his doctrines, his knowledge, his wisdom, and his understanding. And it's nothing like this world. So continue to preach that the kingdom of heaven is at hand, for it's truly at hand, y'all. It is nigh. Make sure the people receive salvation as written in Romans chapter 10. And through salvation, you shall no longer be a prisoner, a servant of darkness, but you shall become Adam again. Hallelujah. Praise be to Yah. We shall become Adam again, which is the highest inheritance in the kingdom of heaven. So make sure the people receive salvation as written in Romans chapter 10. Baptize them in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, for the Lamb set the example of the water baptism and the Holy Spirit baptism. For you can do the water baptism in your home. You don't have to go to an assembly. You don't have to wait for anyone, because the water is the second witness in the earth. Just like the Ethiopian eunuch said, where there's water, I shall be baptized. Exercise your faith. Exercise your work. Make sure your heart is aligned with him, so you can do your water baptism in your home. Get in your tub. Get in your shower. Get in your swimming pool. Wherever there's water, you can be baptized. For the water is the second witness in the earth, because our Father in heaven has poured his Spirit upon all his creation. Therefore, his water can make a report unto him of those who had entered into the new marriage that was set by the Messiah. Now, don't get confused with the new marriage, which is a new covenant, with the new eternal covenant is to come to the house of Israel and the house of Judah. That's a different covenant, y'all. We must come in the whole volume of the book. Okay? So make sure we are preaching these things unto the people. Make sure they receive salvation as written in Romans chapter 10. Make sure they are baptized. And show them the way of how to get the Holy Spirit baptism. Because the words say that if you ask in my son's name, it shall be given unto you according to your heart, your works, and your faith. All right, y'all. Shalom.